Hello, everyone, and welcome to the channel once again. So it's finally happened. The Lakers have finally got a coach now. So JJ Redick becomes the Lakers' fourth coach in the LeBron era. So reports came out earlier today that Redick has been hired by the Lakers on a 4-year deal. We've seen over the last few weeks that Redick was interviewing with the Lakers. He had met with the front office and the management. So this was no secret as such. We had a lot of reports come out on this, and after Dan Hurley's pursuit of the Lakers, which did not end successfully, and Dan Hurley opted to stay at UConn. We finally have news today from Woj himself that the Lakers have agreed to hire JJ Redick in what it seems is an initial 4-year deal. We don't know the terms and conditions just yet of that deal, whether there are any exit clauses of the deal, or any kinds of bonuses that Lakers might have to pay Redick based on how the team performs in his tenure there. But we just have news, just a few hours back, the Lakers have hired JJ Redick. So this was coming. The Lakers did, in fact, need to have a coach in place, or ideally would have had to have a coach in place before the NBA draft. Uh, you know, Started. It was the draft is probably a week from now, so in an ideal scenario, the Lakers better have had a coach before the draft starts so that he can advise on what players the team needs to target and stuff. And it seemed that JJ Redick was the first option right from the get go when Darvin Ham was fired. We saw a lot of other names like James Borrego, Sam Cassell, and even Monty Williams recently pop up as well for the head coaching job. But in all honesty, it did seem that Redick himself was a front runner for that. He obviously does a podcast with LeBron. LeBron knows him pretty well in terms of his IQ, his thinking skills of the game, and being a former player himself, being someone who's played in the modern NBA game with a lot of 3 point shooting, I think Redick will bring a lot of value to this team as a coach in terms of the offensive game plan he can set up, as well as the kind of opportunities that shooters will have under him in terms of the plays he designs. So he's worked with obviously a lot of good coaches previously in his playing career. He's worked he's played under Doc Rivers, and he's played under Stan Van Gundy as well. So at that time, they were the two of the best coaches in the NBA. So I think Redick will have some kind of exposure from that learning which he's got as a player. Obviously, he's never coached on a professional level before. He's not had any kind of experience coaching college or coaching any WNBA team or in fact any other team locally as well. So this is probably going to be his first official coaching gig, which sounds crazy because we thought that the Lakers would probably move away from first time head coaches after hiring Darvin Ham the last time out, which did not work well. But now they've gone back and done the same thing again in terms of hiring a first time head coach. But obviously this time they will probably hope for a different experience because things ultimately fare out well with Darvin Ham, though he had initial successes. So we don't have the official confirmation yet from the Lakers. We expect that in the coming few days. But for now, we can speculate on what kind of things JJ Redick will actually get to the team. Firstly, he has a good relationship with LeBron James, obviously from the podcast, obviously from different interviews he's done and how much he's praised LeBron as well. So we can assume that LeBron has got the buy-in, or we can assume that JJ Redick has got the buy-in from LeBron. But when it comes to AD, I think JJ Redick recently said in a podcast that if he were to coach a team which had Anthony Davis on the team, he would probably run his offense around AD. And knowing that the Lakers are, just a couple of seasons away from LeBron probably calling it a day, as superhuman as LeBron is, he definitely is going to call it a day at some time because he's got other things in mind that he wants to do apart from just basketball. So I think the only important thing for now is how the Lakers go about, keeping Anthony Davis satisfied from, the current hire, which they'll probably do. And then they also have to figure out their role players. So I think JJ definitely made a lot of good points on his recent podcast with LeBron when he said that a team should have two very good superstars and then a lot of good role players. That means they discuss in depth about how a team basically should have about 7 to 8 capable players on the roster who can play in any playoff series. That obviously was not the case with this season's Lakers. Where, I mean, a lot of players did go missing in the playoffs. So I think Redick would definitely build his team, around that kind of a mentality wherein he gets 7 to 8 good role players as well. I think the Lakers might utilize a draft with the pick. The last time they drafted, uh, in the last season's draft was GHS, which currently has not worked out well. But they do have the 17th pick in the draft. It'll be interesting to see what the team does. I think JJ is a big proponent of young players as well as drafting players. So I think that'll be a good cohesive discussion between JJ as well as the management in terms of whether they should keep the pick, ideally, draft a big man who can complement AD and a win now player. Otherwise, trade the pick for somebody for a role player who can immediately come in and contribute. So I believe these are the initial things that JJ would like to focus on once he gets the job, once he's officially confirmed as the Lakers head coach. And the next part of that is confirming his staff around him who will be coaching the team offensively and defensively as well. So we've heard initial rumors about Rajon Rondo, the former Laker guard who won a championship with the Lakers in 2020 as well as one with Boston in 2008. So Rondo is definitely loved by the Lakers fans. So he would probably be a good addition because he's widely regarded as one of the smartest basketball players in the NBA, who has played for different teams across his career. So we're going to see if that happens ultimately or not. We've also heard other names like James Borrego himself being an assistant to JJ Redick, but I think that's out of the question considering he's interviewing for the Cavs job now and he's a front runner there. So I think now in the next couple of weeks we have to see what kind of coaching staff that JJ tries to assemble. I think the Lakers will definitely give him the opportunity to hire him to make his own hires, similarly with how they did with Darvin Ham. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes to the Lakers, whether it'll be former players who become assistants or whether it'll be some reputed assistants from across the league as well. So a lot of things to watch out in this space, but a quick live on this was just to break down the fact that JJ Redick is now officially or will be officially announced as the Lakers head coach in the next few days. We got the report from Woj. We got the news that we've all been waiting for after the Dan Hurley. I would say the saga did not happen successfully for the team. So now JJ has to step up to the plate from the podcasting studio to the actual head coaching job of the Lakers, to coaching LeBron, coaching AD, coaching everyone on that team. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out, and moreover, it's going to be interesting to see how his camaraderie with LeBron is after hosting so many podcast shows with him. How that translates to the court as well. And what do you guys think about the podcast? I mean, I enjoyed listening to it. I enjoyed listening to JJ and LeBron breaking down the X's and O's of the game, suggesting different kinds of offensive sets, suggesting different kinds of defensive sets, looking back at plays from over the past years. So I love that podcast. What do you guys think? Like, do you think the podcast goes on? Do you think they try to do a variation wherein they do a podcast once in a month or something like that? Because I don't think the podcast can stick around. I think like that has to end. But that's been so successful that it's going to be very sad to see it go. So just drop your views in the comment box and let me know or let us know in terms of what you think the podcast will probably feature from now onwards. So that was just a quick live on this. JJ Redick officially or unofficially announced as the Lakers head coach. An official confirmation expected soon from the Lakers itself. Drop your comments, in the box below. Let me know what you guys think of the hire, and whether you think JJ could become a successful head coach of the Lakers, someone who the management views as an Eric Spoelstra, a Pat Riley, or a Steve Kerr for their team, in the long run. So drop your comments, do leave a like on this and subscribe to the channel. Share this along with your other Laker friends or other NBA friends, and yeah, show some love. Peace out.